Hello, happy Wednesday. Hopefully, everyone's having a great week. We're almost there. It's the middle of the week, and the weekend will be here soon enough. So, I wanted to talk about a topic that affects all of us. That is, getting into a musical funk, and I am not talking about James Brown. And so, let's define what I mean by musical funk. That is basically one of two things. The way I define it is either you keep playing the same repertoire, the same scales, and nothing new is coming out of your playing. That's one. The other one is just really neglect of the instrument itself. It's not really as a matter of the fact that you don't have enough time. You're just not playing the instrument. You become disinterested in that, and the guitar just sits in its case. So those are the ways that I define being in a musical funk. So how do you get out of that? So I can only speak for myself, and these are three ways that really have helped me. The first one is to learn another style. So if your primary style is jazz music, so exploring classical or rock repertoire, and then going back to the jazz tradition, that helps a lot. So I believe that gives you a little bit more insight and creativity. Just do something a little bit different from that. Another way that I get out of a musical funk is just to play another instrument. You've seen some of my haphazard attempt at playing the bass. So everybody here, or I should say most of the people that are watching this, are guitarists. First four strings on a guitar is the same as a bass. For me, I try to play a fretless Fender because it really helps me with my intonation. It's just very different. I like it. I've experimented with playing and I'm still trying to learn the cello. Just playing another instrument and going back to the guitar helps with your creativity and helps you get out of a funk. So again, learning another style, trying to explore another instrument. That's a way to get out of that. The third way, which for me helps a lot, is books, 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 books. A lot of the stuff that you see people online playing are in the books themselves. So I have here. This is Ted Green's Jazz Guitar Single Note Soloing Volume 1. I've worked through this. I go back to it. Some great exercises in there. Some great ideas on the arpeggio. This will help you just in terms of learning the jazz vocabulary. And just basically, whatever your playing style, it's going to help you get out of a rut because it's going to be something that you're going to work on. Another one is the Classical Guitar Volume 1. I've got a couple of classical guitar books which are intended for the beginner or intermediate player and just learning just new repertoire and things of that nature. So learning other styles, playing other instruments, buying books, and these are music books helping you with the instrument. But let's just say you don't read. Well, there are books with tabs, and I don't want to get into whether tabs are good or bad or things of that nature. This is not the purpose of this video, but you can buy books related more to the history or something. It's going to give you some creativity and some insight. So this is a book that my son got me. It's The History of Jazz by Ted Gio. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but it's spelled Gioia. And it's really exactly what it says about the history of jazz. You can buy a book on the history of the cello, the history of the guitar, classical music, jazz music, autobiographies. Just something that takes you away from the instrument, but you're still dealing with that musical realm. It's going to excite you when you learn the history of how these players kind of evolved. So those are my three primary ways of getting out of a rut, which is learning another style, playing another instrument, and buying as many books as you possibly can. Two other ways I wanted to discuss are not necessarily ways I recommend. Um, they could hurt you in a different way. Those two ways are buying another guitar, which is called gas. I love guitars, so I buy them sometimes just because I love the way they look. They're works of art. They're just beautiful. They sound great, but having guitar acquisition syndrome is not necessarily going to get you to get out of a funk because you don't necessarily play more. What happens is you get a new guitar, you get fascinated by it, and there's this rush to play it, and then it might sit there back in the case itself. If you find an instrument that actually spurs your creativity and you don't want to just look at it but you want to pick it up and play it, by all means purchasing another instrument is a way to get out of a funk, but I would never be my first go-to way to get out of a funk. Another way that I don't necessarily recommend, even though you're watching this video, is just scouring YouTube. If it inspires you to pick up the guitar, or you have the guitar sitting on your lap and you're playing it, that's a different way. But so much time is spent just surfing the net, and you're not practicing. You look up and it's like, noon, or it's like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and it's 2 hours have gone by. All you've done is watch the latest video of the latest the shredder and things of that nature. But things that inspire you to pick up the guitar, I definitely recommend. But don't just scour the channels and the YouTubers out there. Just say, "Oh wow, what a great player." It's got to bring back something positive to you to play that. So these are just ways for me that have helped me get out of a musical funk, and hopefully if you get one or two of these things, and it helps you, that's a great thing. And practice, practice, practice. Thank you again for watching. Bye now.